One thing you touched on there that I find really fascinating and I'd love to talk about is that PTSD, you think the D in that word for disorder doesn't belong there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, essentially we're talking about a system of memory, and neuroscientists now believe that we probably remember everything. We have a limited capacity for conscious, rational thought. It doesn't have a lot of bandwidth. And so much of what we remember doesn't rise to the level of consciousness. The stuff we need in a day-to-day world does, but that there's a lot more there that we aren't aware of. But so this business of storing memory works like this. In Surviving Survival, I write about a lady and her husband who were attacked by a grizzly bear in a national park in Canada and badly mauled. They were out hiking in the Canadian Rockies and just happened by bad luck to stumble upon a bear. Just before this, the lady had sat down, they were sitting for a rest, and she took some pine needles and broke them and smelled them because she really loved the smell of pine. After the attack, when she was recovering and trying to get on with her life, she discovered that the smell of pine would send her into a panic attack. She couldn't stand the smell of pine after that. And this is exactly how our memory system works. It mates things together to give us as much information as possible for the next time something happens. And so it's not a very sophisticated system. It's a very blunt instrument. So it paired the smell of pine with an attack by a grizzly bear so that in the future, when she smelled pine, she'd be sure to turn and run away, which doesn't make any sense at all, but there it is. That's how this system works. So we're constantly getting all kinds of matched things in our environment that don't have the right meaning, and we have to use our thinking to interpret them. However, it's just a system of memory, and memory includes feelings. And so, as I was saying before, it's not just the brain, it's the body too. So when you get a feeling like that, it's usually expressed as a gut feeling. And so I don't think disorder is right. I think post-traumatic stress is correct. It's after trauma that you get these effects most powerfully, and it's stressful because you're high, your emotional level is very high, but it's not a disorder. It's the way the system works, and we all have it to some degree or another. I had an experience years ago, and I want to say it's 20 years or more, in which I was visiting somebody. I was in an unfamiliar bedroom getting dressed. And I was putting my shirt on, and I put my hands over my head to put my T-shirt on, and there was a ceiling fan there. And I stuck my hand in the ceiling fan, and boy, did that hurt. And I didn't break anything, but man, it was really painful. You know, those things are wood and they go fast. To this day, my wife makes fun of me for this. You know, I can be in a room where the ceiling's 12 feet high and there's no ceiling fan. And then when I go to put my shirt on, I look up. And it's completely reflexive. And she always jokes with me about this. It's because it's indelible. And so that's a fairly minor trauma in life. I mean, I didn't lose a limb or even bleed. It just hurt. And so by understanding how this system works, we can take apart some of these, you know, places in our lives where we feel anxiety or anger or sadness or any of these negative emotions that may stand in the way of our functioning, and we can put something in their place. You know, we can decide when I'm feeling this way, I'm going to play tennis or whatever it is that does it for you. It's different for everybody. And it just makes for a better quality of life. You can actually control these things.
Subscribe to Outliers with Daniel Scrivner now in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And be the first to hear about new episodes and receive exclusive content by joining our newsletter at outliers.fm. I can't wait to help you level up and live your best life.